Hi there and welcome to Bustthenet. On today's show, we're going to take a look at FM18's Tactical Creator. This Tactical Creator has certainly improved. It's going to be great for the new user. For the last couple of seasons, most of the seasoned veterans have complained that there's not enough information for new players who are coming to grips with the game. We see it on the forums. We see that they are trying to understand things like why can this player play with that player, what happens, why have I bought this superstar and he just can't fit into my team, and you're telling me there's something wrong with my tactic. No, I can't see what's wrong with my tactic. So people have had this issue for a long time. Now older players, well, we've been through the races, we've been at the races for so many years, we kind of know what's going off instinctively. That's the thing, you see, most of us know shit instinctively, and the problem is, for the new user, you can't expect them to develop these instincts, because for us, we were used to sliders and notches for the longest time. Okay, cool. So we might know a bit more than the rest, but that's not enough. That doesn't make this game appealing to the new player. So we started complaining, and as I have heard those complaints, so they've introduced new modules like dynamics. They've upgraded other modules like scouting. There's a new module in medical center. So all these modules have now been inserted into the game. I credit SI for taking the bold move for doing so much in a short period of time. It's fantastic because this means that they have started taking the modules that relay information, right? Like dynamics relays information, medical center relays information. All these modules present information. So they've created a new interface that allows us to get this information a lot more effectively. This is great news for anybody who understands the game and how it works. The match engine is a legacy engine. It sits on top, it sits below everything else, and all the other modules, they grab information from the match engine and then they translate them into information that we can use in the game. But the problem with the match engine is it's legacy, it's old. So if SI were to work on that first, then they have an issue with the rest, because there's a limitation to what they can present, because the presentation screens aren't that good. So SI have done something smart. They've gone for the quick win. They've gone in and they've improved the way information is presented. And one of the best places is the Tactical Creator. This allows SI and gives SI some time to work on the match engine. And I suspect that the next big thing they're gonna do with the game, right? It may not happen in FM18. It might happen in FM19 or 20. I expect a new, completely rewritten match engine code, which will dramatically change. I won't say it's going to dramatically change the way we play, but I expect it to be a bit more intuitive. And it's going to be, I'm looking forward to that, because these modules allow SI to go in and start working on the match engine. Now, let's take a look at the Tactical Creator. The new Tactical Creator is, it's got a lot of the old information, but it presents it in a different way. The main things that we notice on the Tactical Creator when we get there for the first time is match plans. Match plans are fantastic because you can now create scenarios for yourself, right? So this is a throw, it comes from FM Touch, and I've wanted it in the main game for such a long time. This allows you to set your tactic up in such a way that under certain circumstances, depending on the score line and depending on the time, something automatic happens with your shouts, or you could even change your tactic. Now this is fantastic because it allows you to kind of like go away for coffee breaks and let the game play itself out. The second big change that we have, set piece creator. Now if you go to the set piece creator, if you go to your corner routines, now you can put two chaps outside the box. This is evil, and I'll tell you why it's evil. If you love if you love people striking it from outside the box, this is a gimme. So please set this up. I'm going to be playing like this for most of my games. It allows you to dominate possession as well. Then we have free kicks. Free kicks, they've included something nice. We've got 3 varieties of indirect free kicks that you can set up. And if you've got a routine all nicely set up for your indirect free kick routines, this is going to be fantastic. Okay, so this covers the main the main features of this section of the pitch, or rather the screen. What am I saying pitch for? Okay, now let's take a look at this portion here. We've got it looks like the old screen, but there are some changes, right? Okay, now we have a nice big button here that will reduce the pane on the right, and it'll expand the pane on the and expand and reduce that pane, and you've got a pin to hold it in position. The These are going to be the two main things. Now, there's also another tab here called analysis. This will, if you click on it, you'll notice that there are little shaded areas on your pitch. These shaded areas reflect how well you're controlling that zone of the pitch based on the roles and duties that you have in the game, and it will also let you know whether the player is suited for the role. Now, I personally don't really care about the second part. I'm only interested in the first part. So it's really cool, because if you change, if you have a player who's not suited for the role, they will tell you. Like in this particular case, Bennett is not suited to this role. As you can see, he's completely unsuitable. He's a defender who's sitting up there. So if I quick pick the right players, you will notice that the shade has changed. The other thing that you want to note is that there are partnership lines now. Now, this is really good, because it shows that the longer a team plays together, the better they get. Now, partnership, the data that's fed into for partnership starts from the moment you start playing FM18. So they don't include historical information. So if you join a club and you know this club and you've been to this club and you're a big fan of the club, then you might be familiar with some of the existing partnerships, but those existing partnerships will not be in this game. There's a lot of information for the developers to code, and they've not put it in. They've not put that information in for reasons of their own. Okay, so we've done this screen, and this is fantastic. You also got a pane here for recent match analysis. If you click on it, it opens, and you can start analyzing how you've been playing in some of the matches that you've had in the last couple of weeks. Where have you lost possession? What are the weakest influence for the opposition team? And then it's really, really, I mean, I love this. This is so cool. I mean, I'm an analytical nut, so I love all this. The more information you give me, the better I feel. All right, so we've got all this that gives you an analysis of how your tactic has performed over the last for the longest time you've used the tactic. Then on the right here, we've got tactical familiarity, and we've got tactical intensity. Tactical intensity is only about how aggressive your tactic is in terms of closing down, in terms of tempo, and the likelihood that your players are going to get injured because they're playing. Assume now you play on overload and you play on max tempo and you play with max closing down. Then you notice the bar will go totally red. So we'll just show it to you right now. Let's do this, and then I'll take the tempo and max it out. Now I'll take the closing down, I'll max it out. Let's see what happens to my boys. This whole bar will turn red. If the intensity goes up, then there's a likelihood that they're going to get injured, and the condition could deteriorate during the game at a faster rate. So these are things that you want to bear in mind with the new tactical creator. Okay, what else do we have? So this is the pane, but here is the cool thing that you need to understand. If you're going to navigate around the screen, you need to understand where the hotlink buttons are. The hotlink buttons are these small little arrows all over the pitch, right? So if you see your hand pop up, the symbol of your hand pop up, then if you click on it, it opens up and it shows you, gives you more information. So every time you click on these small arrows or hyperlink lines that you notice over here, this is how you'll navigate around the screen. Finally, you can also edit player instructions from here and go to player instructions. These player instructions are the ones that you're going to use if you want to do role swapping. So if you want to swap a player's position if you want to swap these two players, then you're going to be using the screen itself. Okay, we have a new team instruction called Look for Underlap. Very excited about this because it tells wider players to look for players who are making runs on the inside. So overlap is look for runs on the outside. This is looking for runs on the inside. So this is a very, very cool new instruction that's been added to the game. There's also a new play instruction called Mark Specific Position. But it seems like this instruction seems to work better with your players who have got defensive duties or at least support duties. But I doubt if this is going to work for any of the players who are in an attacking duty. Now, if you notice one thing, the play instructions panel for individual roles on the pitch, they also have this new cool change here on the mentality bar. Now this is something that I requested from my side. I wanted the mentality bar to change so that we could get a better representation of the value of their mentality, because I've basically been telling people that the mentality is different, but if you want to compare one player to another player, it's really hard because you don't know how many notches there are on this mentality bar. So we've got notches back in a manner of speaking. So each notch is a value of 1, because 0 to 20 here. So this is smack dab in the middle. So his value is like almost 10. There are certain changes that you need to be aware of. First up, sweeper keepers. The training has changed. They got distribution. That means they now can distribute the ball very effectively from the back. So you want to be looking for a keeper who has good vision and kicking. So please go get yourself one, because you're going to love the way these guys play now. They're going to be able to spot a counter attack, and they're going to play the ball in for you. So you really are going to love this. If you're the kind of player that loves your keepers, either doing a throw from the back to start a counter attack, or you want them to kick, or take advantage of the position on the pitch of some of the players, then yes, please work on this. Okay, all right, now it's time to look at some of the other roles and duties. We've got the inverter wingback. This is going to be brilliant. This chap gets the full suite of duties: defense, support, attack. Now, if you want to create a Manchester replication, which I will do on this channel, then you sincerely need to use an inverter wingback. The other role that has been introduced in the game is the segundo volante. The segundo volante is like Paulinho, right? The Brazilian. They attack. They're very aggressive. They're very physically strong. They're able to get up the pitch and create chances, and they're also able to get back in defense. Now, these guys are usually, you need to pair them up with an anchor man. You need to pair them up with another defensive midfielder to get the best out of them. You use them in a box, the Brazilian box, or basically a 4-2, any 4-2. And I tell you something, the 4-2-3-1, the deep 4-2-3-1 is going to be amazing in FM18 with the addition of the segundo volante. Another role that we have in the game is the Iron Robin role, or the inverted winger. Now, this is a great addition to the game. These players attack the spaces. They go diagonally towards goal. So they got a choo-choo train, they go towards goal. However, you have to remember that sometimes these roles may not work the way you expect them to. If you think he's going to go diagonally, but he doesn't go diagonally because he's going down the flanks, then you have to check his player traits, because player traits still override player instructions. Another new role in the game is the okay, this is going to be fun because we've got two roles here. One is the Mazala and one is the Carrilero. Now, I'm going to call him Masala and I'm going to call him Curry because it's kind of fun. Okay, the Mazala is the half winger. He's one of those flair players in the center of the park that are able to cut open defenses, right? They're just like twisting and turning. They've got a lot of skill on the ball, plenty of first touch. They are the half space explorers. They explore the half spaces. You've got the Ramdaughter, who is the space investigator. Now you've got the half space investigator in the Mazala. The Mazala can either work the half spaces or he can control the half spaces. This is a very, very good role in the game, and it's probably my second favorite role right now, next to the inverted wingback. Then we have another new role called the Carrilero. The Carrilero is basically what you have here is a shuttler right now. We're not playing badminton here, but this guy, he looks after the flanks. So if you're playing a narrow system, this is the role you want, because this guy is going to take care of the flanks for you. While your players, your wingbacks bomb forward, he will make sure that the flanks are protected. So this is a very good role for narrow systems like the 4-1-3-2, the 4-4-2 diamond, the 4-3-1-2. Carrileros, their jobs description says defend the flanks. They are water care. Their ball, they just they worry about shuttling the ball from defense to midfield. But you do not expect them to, you don't expect them to be very attacking in orientation. They're very neutral. They basically, they try to lock down your midfield as much as possible. So these are some of the new roles that have been added to the game, and I will definitely be getting individual role videos out for you if you want to figure out how you want to use them in your tactics. There will also be a replicate. I will do a show where I will go through different clubs, right? So one of the clubs I'm doing is Manchester City, and I'll be doing Liverpool. I will show you how I start with those clubs and how I use some roles and duties with those clubs. So please check out some of these videos that are coming very, very soon. If you're familiar with any of the shows that I've done, I've done key pass combinations, I've done stat zone videos. So I'm going to be doing the same thing for FM18. How do I analyze teams? How do I analyze statistics in this game? And I plan to do that. I can't do this on today's show, otherwise this show is going to be very, very long. So this has been a quick look at the Tactical Creator. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. You can always look me on Twitter at Bustthenet or addicted2fm.com, my website. I want to thank all my patrons for their continued support of this channel. You guys, if you have any questions, drop me a note in the comments below and just ask away. Now, if I can't answer the question, I certainly will try and get that. I'll certainly try and find out what the answer is to that question and get back to you. So you guys take care. Have a good one. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.